and welcome to episode 13 of It's Beer O'Clock with Beerski and special guest Peekdatchu. How you doing, Peek?
I'm good, man. Excited to come on, and as most people know, beer was like my first collectible, so this is like two worlds colliding. So
That's
I'm
fantastic, dude. I'm super excited to have you here. I know you're a big fan of the Sip of Sunshine, so we're representing that tonight. But I'm also giving you a little bit of Woodford Reserve Old Fashioned. So cheers,
Nice.
everyone. Happy Wednesday.
Cheers, everybody. I told you I spoiled it for you, at least pre-stream, but I brought on a nice, I won't say very rare anymore, but for anybody in the chat, this is Atrial Rubicite out of Austin, Texas, a brewery called Jester King. Arguably, they make the best like fruited sours in the country. I used to wait in line in like 2014, 2015 for like 4 hours to buy 2 bottles of this. So a little bit more available, still very hard to get unless you go to the brewery. But I thought for a Beerski podcast, we'd open this guy up. So cheers to chat. I'll pour this up while you do your introductions and all of that. So
that's fantastic. So yeah, man. Excited to have you here. Happy to have everyone here that's viewing. We got iFOMO saying Peak. He's excited. We got Ponga in here. He said Peak's a goat. Beer's a goat. We got Mr. Catch 'em All Collectible. What's going on, guys? Oh, look at that coloring. Look at the head on that thing. That's beautiful.
Well, that's
See,
I'm
not the biggest sour fan, unfortunately. Like, my wife loves sours. I think my sister-in-law loves sours. I love that IPA dank. The danker, the better for me. Like, I'm a big West Coast IPA style guy. The Sip of Sunshine's awesome though. A little more on the light, fruitier side. More citrusy. But very, very delicious. We got Pokey Chef in here. What's going on, Pokey Chef?
What's up, Chef? How you doing, man?
Gym Leader Pepe. Mr. Walrus finally making an appearance. What's going on, Mr. Walrus? Great to have you here. Ponga's missing his cute face. So what's going on, man? How's 2024 treating you so far?
It's great. It's been going really well. It's busy, like crazy with my own like full-time job that I do. I've really ramped up like the amount of stuff I'm buying and selling. So that's been, balancing that with a couple of kids at home is always insane. Just busy, dude. I don't know if you guys have a family calendar at home, but like we have one, and it's and we're just fighting for time. It's like my wife beats me to something, I beat her to something, and but overall, I mean, it's good. It's going faster than I'd like it to, but it means you got a lot going on. So I'm enjoying it so far.
Good, man. Great. Crazy. March is upon us. We got a leap year this year, an extra day tomorrow, but it's amazing how 2 months have vanished from this year so far. Any aspirations you have for 2024? What are you buying? You said you were buying a little bit more, selling a little bit. So what are you getting into right now, Peak?
So it's not necessarily and by the way, chat, I'm so sorry for the audio quality. Anybody who watches my channel knows I'm like a stickler for that. I don't have my mic set up. I'm rocking AirPods. My apologies. And to you as well. We talked about it pre-stream. Audio bugs me so bad, but it's bad audio. I hate sounding like I'm talking out of my shoes. So, as far as things I'm looking at, it's not necessarily I'm not trying to get to a Nick old school level, doing this, but it is something that I've been a little bit more intentional in it. Last year I was a lot more. I'd buy somewhat high-end stuff, or I'd just take a full break from buying because I really just wasn't interested in anything that was out there. I mean, vintage was, going up a ton, and it was pricing a lot of the cards that I wanted, pricing me out, to be honest. So really what has pulled me back into buying a ton has been 151. Anybody who, was around Collecticon when I was there, I was looking for reverse hollow master balls. Like, that's all I was looking for at every single table I went to. I bought a couple other things.
I love those.
Oh yeah, the master balls I think are like one of the coolest.
They're so cool.
It's amazing that English is like, let's take the best thing out of this set and just not put it in.
And not put it in there, right?
Yeah, so that I bought some gray felt hat Pikachus, which I think everybody and their mom got as many as they wanted at that show. That was the number one card I saw at Dallas Collecticon for a reason we can talk about as we go. Along in the stream, but. Just that. I've been picking up a few vintage items, like some old A&A promos, as people know. I mean, I'm I won't call myself a boring collector or buyer seller, but I tend to stay in my lane.
You like what you like.
That's it. And it's stuff that I understand. I really try not to to speculate and go crazy on like, oh wow, Pokemon Days here. Let's get Temporal Forces like booster bundles at $18, or let's buy packs under $3. Let's really stock this. Like that isn't why I got into this in the first place. But recently, vintage has taken a pretty. I mean, I won't say all vintage, but a lot of the vintage cards I've looked at have taken a pretty significant dip, and I think it's mainly because of availability, which is anything you want to buy that you've ever liked in this hobby or heard about. As a rumor, was it real? It's all available.
It's everywhere.
It's just absolutely insane. So Modern is stalking like crazy. It's insane to see what stuff is going for. It doesn't even have to be expensive. It could be a card that's selling for $150. I'm like, this is $5 raw. Like, what are we doing? But overall, I mean, I think it's in a very healthy place, and I'm just focusing on picking up some PC items that I can, look around for, buying some graded not buying graded VHS, buying sealed VHS and grading those as well. I'm in a little bit.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
What VHSs are you into? What are you, any specific like genres or anything, or just childhood stuff, or like college year things?
Well, so it's interesting with VHS. So I got into looking at it because I forget. There's a YouTube channel that everybody should watch. It's a great podcast they do, I think, every week. It's called Tales from the Flip Side. If any of the mods in here can find it and just like link them, they're amazing. They go over like the heritage auctions, golden auctions, and all of that.
Okay.
Swami and I talked about this like a couple of years ago, I think. But the fun thing is there's no centralized knowledge base for it. So like in Pokemon, we have Bulbapedia and like all this other stuff. Here's where the card was. Here's when it was released. Here's the third version of the art. They changed the color of the tree. Like, I mean, there's literally like every detail you could imagine. VHS, it's like extremely difficult to understand like what a first print is. Plus them being sealed, it doesn't make sense. You think back to like 1986 or 1987, you pick up something like a Predator or like a Jaws movie or something, or Jaws was actually back in the 70s, but it's like, why would they have bought VHS back then to not open it? So
yeah, exactly.
It's a treasure hunt hobby. Okay. And you have to be really educated in order to like know what you're looking for. And then the next hard part is like even finding it. It's not even price. It's like, where is this stuff?
Okay. So it's like all extremely niche things.
Usually, like the most recent thing I bought a 6 of the 28 Days Later VHS, which came out in 2004, and VHS was like gone by 2006.
Oh, so yeah. It's kind of like, I remember you talking about this.
Yeah. So it's kind of like video games, how like you buy a video game at the end of a console end of life. Like those are the rarest because they didn't put out a ton, or it was at the end of like the NES or something. So it's kind of similar to that. And that's one of my all-time favorite zombie movies ever. And
it's a great movie. So. Infected with Rage, dude. How great is that? Like, it's so keeping their eyes open, watching like angry things. Like, it's great. Crazy Monkeys, man. What a concept.
One of my favorites.
I know they're coming out with 28 months later now. I guess that's in pre-production.
That may or may not have anything for me buying more than one copy just in case things go well.
That first movie's great. I don't think I've ever seen the second one, but I did enjoy that first one quite a bit. That dude puking in that one area like nonstop blood puke is just wild. There's some wild stuff.
What's interesting too is that movie was filmed on like 480p handheld like camcorders, and so like they have I think they re-released it in like 1080p or maybe even 4K. But it's super grainy, borderline unwatchable. And it's because they're taking like 480p camcorders and attempting to like scale them up, which, they'll take 1976 Jaws and turn that into Dolby Vision with Atmos, and it's like perfect. But because of what they filmed on, it's like, it's unwatchable in my opinion. But the second one actually has one of the best opening scenes of a movie I've ever seen. So I would highly recommend you check that out.
All right, right on. That's going to go on the watch list for this weekend for sure.
That's a good one.
I'll get into it. Let's see what we got. Pokechef, cheers. Ponga in here too. Yeah, it's a good day, man. It's great seeing Ponga. I love that guy.
What's up, Brad G?
We got Brad G cards in here. What's going on, Brad G? Goats all around. And thank you for sharing your time with us, Peek. Absolutely, man. Thank you so much for being on here.
It's a good time.
Brad says the audio sounds good. Walrus says your audio sucks. I'm sorry I'm late. His audio is bad.
It's fine. Walrus. I agree with that 100%.
We got E-Unit in here. Yep, Stonk Dog. Wada is grading movies now. Time to cook chat. Oh, so Wada went on from video games to movies as well. So did they just do VHS or is it DVD as well?
I will assume all the above. They're all grading it now. Beckett was the final one that I saw. I don't know when Wada did it, but that's interesting, Walrus. Beckett just recently started grading VHS not that long ago. They bought VHS DNA, which was an independent grading company, and it's the only part of Beckett that has customer service that even exists. So outside of those people losing their jobs, like I wish nothing but bad things on Beckett. But yeah, that's they do it. CGC grades them. IGS is another one. There's like 2 or 3 more, I think, but all the major grading companies except for PSA grade them now.
Okay, right on. Let's see. I think Tales from the Flip Side.
Thank you, Wallace. I appreciate that. That's if anybody just likes collectibles in general, they have roundtable, like 3 or 4 people cycle through different guys every single week, and I don't even think it's a main host. It's just like a group of people, and it's really good. It's really entertaining to listen.
I didn't know about
it.
You
don't know.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll definitely get on that. Suck it, Ponga. Oh man, I beat you, Walrus. So at Collecticon in Dallas, let's delve into that a little bit. I think this is going to be like the first live that talks about it, so I'm pretty excited to get this information out there. So how was it, man? Like, give me a little breakdown, synopsis of the weekend, highs, lows, cards you saw, cards you bought, like what's going on?
Yeah, sure thing. So I only went Saturday. I did not go Sunday. So, but I know Dan and I were texting a little bit while he was there on Sunday, and he said it was a little bit slower, but still solid. But Saturday was actually, for me, so here's one thing I did. This is the first Collecticon I've done this at. I did not vend. I did not get a table. I had a vendor badge, but I just walked around and bought. Dan, catch him off. He's still in here. He was kind enough to give me some space on his table. A few cards sold. I was Nick, Old School Pokemon's first buyout. And I mean, he bought me out of my raw cards, so we already talked about it. But I basically came in and just walked around and bought. And honestly, I can't say after that I'll ever sit at a table again. I enjoyed it infinitely more.
Really?
Walk around. Oh yeah, it was like night and day difference. Like I may just honestly, like, going forward, if I do go to another Collecticon, like maybe here soon or next year or whatever it is, I'm going to just either pay somebody on the side to just get a little section of their case, or if they're kind enough and let me put stuff there, like I'd rather walk around and buy. I mean, there were a lot of deals to be made at these tables, even on Saturday when I went. Everybody was willing to negotiate for the most part. So it was really, really good. But yeah, overall, I mean, obviously someone who actually sat at a table can tell you better, but from what I heard as far as feedback, it was really good. Cards there were absolutely insane. I mean, just I saw everything I could ever hope to see, really.
What was the craziest thing you saw there?
I did. So this is a friend of mine that I know that's local here in Dallas, who told me he wasn't coming. And then at like 5 o'clock, I forget who I was talking to, but I just felt like a tap on my shoulder was him. I was like, oh, what's going on, man? Big Worlds collector. So he brought every single Worlds card from 2004 to up to 2023. He has 2023, but it was 2022.
Wow.
With every single stamp. So if you've heard me ever talk about these, people are probably just, especially Wallace, is like, oh my God, he's talking Worlds cards again. But
talk man, stamp, I love it. This is crazy stuff.
Highlights out of that was an 07 finalist, which is like insane. 04 all the way up, everything except for finalist. And then after I've gone through all the stamps, I'm like, this is insane. He then pulls out a 2001 Tropical Breeze, which is from the Versus deck, which there's maybe officially like 4 of those decks. I don't even remember the exact number. Wow. Very low amount of decks made. And he had basically the entire, not all of them 100%, but he basically had the entire Versus set. But to hold a Tropical Breeze as a PSA 8 was insane. I think the last sales that I heard privately were like 165K.
Whoa.
I mean, it's like an insane card to even like see in person, but just to sit there and be able to hold that and like nerd out about it with him was like, and I didn't know he had, I didn't scroll that far back on his IG, I guess, but it was just insane. I was like, after seeing all these stamps, he was like, what about this? And I was like, holy crap, dude, like this is a breeze. Like where did this come from? So that was pretty crazy. I mean, there was a Trophy Kangaskhan there.
Okay.
Giovanni's Vaults. If anybody follows him on Instagram, he's got just an insane amount of cards. So those, I hung out at Rare Candy for a bit and talked to Lee, and they had a couple of snap cards I posted on like my Instagram that I got to hold that were super cool. But my favorite one was definitely the Tropical Breeze. I was just like, this is a card you never see.
Never see.
Like,
yeah.
You see pictures on like Heritage or Golden, but like beyond that, like you're not going to see it in person. So that was
cool,
easily the coolest one that I saw while I was there.
Awesome, dude. That's great. Like it's cool seeing grails and stuff that you want to see. It's even if they're out of reach for you, like to purchase, it's just nice being able to hold them and look at them. And it's cool having friends that have stuff like that, to be honest. Like that's wild, man. Just to like pull that out. Like just imagine walking around with that $160,000 card. Like what?
And that wasn't even like his Worlds collection alone. I mean, you're talking like multiple six figures. I mean, he had his iron case and all that, but yeah, I mean, just being able to like, so he started back in, I think, like 2011. Or he never really stopped, but like actually going after Worlds cards was like 2011. So it wasn't necessarily price holding anyone back then. It was just being able to actually find them.
Yeah.
This is like the depths of the Facebook groups, the depths of like, not even really Instagram at that point. Like it was almost impossible. Like you were on like, forums at that point, probably E4 realistically. But yeah, that was to see the amass of his collection in person, like all of them there was just, it was magical. It was so cool.
That's great. Now the 07 finalists you said you saw, aren't they, the 07s are rare, correct?
Oh, extremely. That's, and from my experience, so 04, that is technically supposed to be the hardest year because there were the least amount of competitors there. But 07, from my very, I don't know, obsessive involvement of seeing what's posted when they're posted, 07 is by far the year that does not come up almost ever. You might see a Japanese one posted for like, I don't know, 15, 16K on eBay or something, but like you never see a final. Like there's never been a public sale of a finalist to my knowledge.
Oh, really?
And then plus all the other stamps. I mean, I've had opportunities to buy up to like a quarter finalist. And I remember that was Raw original competitor. I think I offered him like, I think I went up to like 6K or something. He was like, no, I just don't know, which is how all competitors speak. They get these cards for free. And they're like, I don't know what your number is, but I know mine's higher. It's like, okay. So yeah, to be able to see the final, I mean, 07 is just an insane year. So that was really cool to see.
See, that's great. And that's where the FOMO comes in hard because I wish I was there to see stuff like that. So you were there for Saturday. Did you hang out Friday night? Were you there for a couple nights, or was it just a one-day thing? I know you lived.
No, dude, it was one thing. One day. We talked a little bit before stream. Like I've got some work travel coming up and going to DC this weekend in Vegas in May. So my wife's like, you can go like one day, like, cause she knows if I go out like on Friday night, I'll be there all night. If I go there Saturday and do trade night, do all that, I'll be there all night. So, just one day for me, but I got there at like, I don't know, 7:30, 7:45, met Dan in the lobby, went and set up. So I got to spend like literally the entire day there. So I got everything I needed. I mean, there was nothing else that I could like see. And I made it a point to walk around like to every single booth and buy stuff that I was interested in. So overall, it was great. I enjoyed it a ton. A lot of our friends were all there, which was really cool. I actually met a guy, for anybody who might not follow him on Instagram, his Instagram is literally Trophy Card. That's it. He has great like name. An awesome name that he picked up.
Right.
But, he was one of the first people who I engaged with in the hobby. I want to say a little over 4 years ago or something like that. And we had been friends. Like, I mean, I had like no followers. Like I just jumped on and basically just started talking to people. And he was one of the first people because I loved the stuff in his collection. And we've been friends like ever since. So that he wasn't supposed to come. And then Wednesday he was like, hey, I bought like 40K of cards from Heritage. I'm going to fly in. Did I miss CollectCon? I was like, no, dude, it's on Saturday.
It's happening right now.
Yeah. He ended up flying in from London. And we got to hang out, which was like the coolest thing ever. I was like, I slapped a hug on him. I was like, dude, this is crazy. Like we've talked for hours and hours and hours and hours over the years. And it's like, I've never got to see you in person. So this is cool. So we got to hang out, which was probably a big highlight, being there.
Oh, that's great. Huge highlight. That's, man, I can't wait to go to Orlando. to the Orlando Collecticon because of everything that happens there. Like it's just so cool. Like it brings so many people together, and it's just awesome bringing people together. Did he offload any of those cards?
No, they are not for sale. Jake
Just
Pokenomics, poor guy. I was like, it was the very end of CollectCon. I was like, hey, follow me real quick. I want to introduce you to this guy. And so I took him over to Jake at his table, and I was like, Jake isn't known for his emotional explosiveness. So I was like, don't be offended. He doesn't really get super crazy excited. And Jake was like, does he have something I need? I was like, probably. So then he like puts it all down, and he has like one champ stamp. So Jake threw out a couple of offers. He's like, it's not for sale, dude. I can't do it. So that was fun. That was the first time somebody saw his stuff and was like, I'll give you X amount of money for this.
And turn it down. That's great.
Yeah, he's like, I mean, he spent, almost a decade now, if not longer, of like collecting these, and that his goal is to have one of every single Worlds card except for the 1, 2, and 3 trophies. So he's one card away, and he'll be done.
Oh, good for it! Wow, that's a hell of a collection goal right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Let's see, what do we got going on in chat here? We're always on top of Brad. Let's see. We got the Green Shiz in here. What's going on, Green Shiz? Another person who dislikes Beckett recently. So you guys have something in common.
What's up, Josh? Hope you're good, man.
Sunday picked up towards the end. Still slower overall. Okay. Might be soundtracks. Wada is grading.
Like CDs, you mean, Morris? That'd be interesting. I know people are really getting into that and like buying those up, which is really funny to me.
So yeah, I know that. Oh man, the Green Shiz and Oak talked about this, like records and stuff, and CDs being graded and whatnot. Like, but again, if you bought a CD back then, they weren't buying it. But I guess you could say that about video games and Pokemon cards too. Like, you buy them to rip them, but a lot of people don't. So,
yeah,
the whole collector aspect of everything, like it's not a collectible until it is. I guess it's kind of how it goes. Let's see, we got Poops. World cards, where's Nesto to yawn? Walla's coming in with the hot. No, dude, I love the world's cards talk. It's great. If your grail doesn't come with a code card, that's not a grail. That's a bag.
This is why we keep Walrus around. He's always a goat in chat.
Dude, he's a goat in chat. That's great. Let's see. Come to LA. He wants people to come to LA. Ponga's saying no because Cali sucks. Vegas in May. What days? What days are you going to Vegas in May? Ponga's interested. Are you going, Ponga?
I'll be there May 8th through the 11th, I think. I haven't finalized the exact travel, but I'm actually going to be I'll be with Dave Person. So we may stream actually from his place and like do something, which would be, I want to hold the pre-release Raichu. That's basically what I told him. He's like, let me know when you fly in. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah, that'll be a good time.
Britney Spears shaved her head in 07. Coincidence?
I think this is saved for the Terry Lake interview with the conspiracies.
Oh man, yeah, dude. Terry's got some interesting takes on some things, man. That was a great chat with him. Tots or fries?
Fries, man. Come on, what are we, 4?
Man,
fries.
I'm 4. I love tots. Tots are great.
I do not ride the Napoleon Dynamite train. Like that is
give your tots, Napoleon.
Pokey Chef, please help me out here if you can. But it's like
a good fry is good, but tots just for whatever reason hit the right way.
It's like the tots are like I don't know. I would just see tots as like, I don't know. They're like borderline. They're just hash browns.
They are, but hash browns.
The stuff that's so. Here's the difference. Here's my spicy take for this question. Good question, Mason. I always appreciate these types. Chat, ask me the hardest questions ever. Mason started off. I love this. So, what makes tots good is what goes on top of them. So usually, if you've ever had those things where they'll bake tots and put a bunch of stuff on top, right?
Tachos, baby.
But you know what? Fries can taste like magical just by themselves. Like, you don't have to put a bunch of stuff on top of them. If you put like, it's just a seasoning. Like, oh, I've got, truffle salt on this, like whatever, like stuff like that. But fries are so good. And there's a lot of variation in fries. because you can get steak fries, you can get like shoestring, you can get regulars, you get crispy, you get not crispy. Like
Man,
tots are
look
just
at
like
this.
tots are just like, they're just tots. Like I can't tell the difference between ones I put in like the oven versus ones I get at like a restaurant. What restaurants even do tots like that are nice? Like, come on. So fries it is. I'm a fry shill all day.
I'm a fry shill all day. So I don't know. Retro might take offense to not having to put sauces on fries because I know old card shop like horrified him earlier the other day about
I'm like a fourth of the way through their Cardboard Hands podcast, so I guess I haven't gotten to that point.
Oh yeah, there's like a time where he's talking about like not putting any sauce on his French fries at all, and like Retro's like, "What are you doing? You use the Chick-fil-A sauce. Have you ever used that on fries or like onion rings? That stuff's on point."
It's crack for sure.
Pongo picks tots every time. I hate Chef. Pongo, how does it feel to be doing a podcast with a guy who loves tots? So if you hate Chef, you're gonna hate me. Shoestring fries are on point. What's up, Weedle? Nice seeing you in here. Thanks for being here. Yeah, shoestring
They
fries.
are good, but I feel like I'm getting gypped with shoestring. I can't give them that much credit because I'm like, what is this like fries for ants? Like what
they feel hollow sometimes too. It's like all the goodness gets fried right out of them. I like a nice like homemade cut fry. Like those are the best. Deep frying.
Shoestring are basically potato chips.
Yeah, essentially.
Like that's what they are.
I do like waffle fries, and anything seasoned is nice. Like seasoned waffle fries. Oof. Weedle goat. Ponga thinks everyone's the goat tonight. I love it. So much love. Weedle with the shoestrings.
Except Chef. He hates Chef.
Jeez. Peak phoned in a ringer to tease Jake. Yeah, so if anyone has any more questions in the chat, please put them down there, and we'll get to them. So
to be fair, Mason, I need to touch on this point. I did not troll him for that reason. It's just there's so many people who don't want to hear me talk about rolled cards or don't know enough about them to even like understand what I'm talking about. Jake is not either one of those people. He actually like knows and was one of the few people when I first got into these that actually was putting content out about it. So I thought that he would mainly appreciate it. But then also, yeah, I mean, he saw stuff because he knows as well as I do. Like, you can't find this stuff. So if somebody has it in front of you, it's like, I won't see this for like 2 years. Like, this is insane. So, but it was also fun to see his reaction. He's just like, oh, which you never see Jake like get that elevated.
Yeah, he's very like even keeled. So it's pretty awesome. In a moment like that, it must be so awesome to see like that kind of like reaction from something, especially like when you're putting out like, I want to buy this card, and then the guy's just like, no, I can't do it.
Not for sale. Yeah.
So like, how long would it take him to find that card again? Like
there's none listed. There's none listed.
Was it PSA or is it just raw?
That one in particular was, I think, the 2015 champion stamp, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was graded. Most of them were graded. There were a couple that were raw, but most of them were graded. But yeah, you can't find them. That's the fun thing. It's like, hey, I really like this card. You cannot find it.
Just can't find it. That's wild. No. See, that stuff just blows my mind. Like, there's just stuff out there that's so unobtainable to like even people that are in this hobby deep. It's just wild to know that there's like just cards just out of reach for some people, and then cards that are super out of reach for people.
Well, here's a fun thing. There's been more illustrators available in the last month than there's been of that particular stamp in probably the last 2 or 3 years.
Really?
Like,
I mean, the illustrators are coming out of the woodworks right now. That's like
not a rare card. Spicy take number 2. Not a rare card.
It doesn't seem like it's that rare of a card. It keeps popping up. I mean, it's rare to me. Like, I may never see one or hold one. Maybe one day, but
oh, you'll see one. You'll see one posted on
posted, yeah, but never
breaking sale.
Never in person, like never in person. But
I bet you'll see one in Orlando. I bet somebody's got one in Orlando.
Oh, well then, I'm walking around. So I have down that I have a table, but I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna walk in Orlando because I'm flying down. I'm not gonna bring much with me. I might just bring like my Zion case with some stuff and like do that whole play. The first Collecticon I did, I bended. I didn't walk. So I'm gonna walk this one. I'm going to 2 more Collecticons this year too. I'm going to Jersey and then Chicago. No more Richmond. I cut Richmond out. I don't know. It just, the way everything fell with summer vacations and stuff, I was already taking so much time off that like to make it right with work, I just kind of moved something to the beginning of the year. So I'll go in May instead and have a great time. Just booked the Airbnb tonight. And then just waiting for the flights to drop in price a little bit more so I can get on that. They're like a 195 round trip right now from Newark to Orlando. So they're getting there. We're getting close. So I'm happy.
I just want a Spicy Boys TV vlog of the entire Orlando Collecticon. That's what I'm calling.
Dude, I don't know if you saw the spreadsheet for the Collecticon spreadsheet, but they're like the Spicy Boys group is lit up in blue. They're ready to freaking go, man. They were in the middle of the pack. Now they're at the top of the pack. Like, I'm so excited to go down there. Like, I've never met Nesto in person. Like, I'm so excited to meet, Ernie. It's going to be great. And the rest of the crew is going to be good too. It'll be exciting. I've been toying with the idea of having a Spicy Boy takeover of this channel too, and just letting them all come on. I do, but hey, it'll be good. Like, I just want everyone to come in and just have a great time. So I got to talk to Ernie about that. But yeah, man. So when you were at Collecticon, you said that you were hunting down some Van Gogh Pikachus. How many were there? Conditions? Was it a lot of just like grading misses and stuff? Sealed? Is it stuff that made its way over from the Netherlands yet to here? Did you see any of those sealed boxes that people have been finding? Like, what's the deal with all of that? Because I'm interested. I've been looking at prices on eBay. It looks like around $90, $95 is where they're going on there right now. Were there deals better than that? Collecticon?
Yes, there's as many sealed as you would like to buy available.
Really?
No limit. Hundreds.
Really? That's
as many as you want. So
how quickly things change.
Sealed boxes, as many as you want.
Now, how do you think getting those sealed boxes? Theft? Is it
backdoor? No different.
Backdoor people. It's just not going through because they're giving what 100 to each store a release. I know it's like 300,000 cards got released now. So like, what's
no idea. Don't even care about how many they're sending because it doesn't matter because they will all hit market. And I mean, literally, there were people that I'm not like naming names. I mean, there's people about 400 plus of these things from a single source. Like, I mean, there's a lot that are going to be hitting the market here, probably fairly soon. But that was the number one card I saw at booths and all that. And I was like, wow, there's like a lot of Van Gogh. There's like 20 on this table. There's like 30 over here. And then eventually I was made privy to where it was coming from and was offered some. I was like, I don't need 46 Van Gogh Pikachus, but
I'll buy 400 either.
I'll buy two. And here's how much you can have. And they were like, okay, that's fine. I mean, they had made so much money at that point. Like, who cares? But yeah, lots of Van Gogh, ton of Van Gogh.
That's wild, man. It's crazy how less than what? That was October, November. That was October. 5 months ago. How it was just so scarce. And like, there was nothing around. You couldn't order them offline. If you were ordering them offline on eBay, they were just like $150. It was just crazy. Like, and now they're so readily available and they're about to flood the market. But those sealed ones.
Don't even get me wrong. I would have, if I had like 10K in capital there, like just I'm going to spend it on, I would have bought the dude out.
And just hold them. You could hold so many of them.
No.
Oh, sell them? Oh, you would just get rid of them?
Absolutely.
Grade them and flip?
If I'm like, I'm going to buy 10,000, and I don't know exactly how many we have, but to my knowledge, there was really no. If I was like, I will buy every single one of these, and I want them all for like $40. Like, if I was able to do that, I would just literally just auction everything as much as I could, and hold like a sealed box.
Oh,
like
so you wouldn't even grade them; you would just put them up for auction and just make
$40
a card. Yeah, you're making
doubling my money immediately.
So
like,
much, yeah.
And not to mention, like anyone else who bought them, like when the new wave or whatever that they've talked about that's releasing to those specific stores comes out. I mean, there's just going to be. And I'm not saying I don't want like chat to think like, or anybody that I talk to is flex on. Like, I'm not saying this thing is going to tank. Like, I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not going to be Zard promo level, but I think the PSA 10s will probably end up settling like probably around $75, maybe 100, because it's a cool card. But the 350 or whatever they're selling for now for PSA 10, like that's not like. I will be shocked if that's still the case in 3 months. Shocked.
I'm surprised they're still selling for 350 right now. Like that's wild to me that they're even still at that price. Like the CGCs, pristines were selling at like 700, 800 for a while there. They've come down quite a bit, I think. But
insanity.
I sold one for I think it was 730. I sold it for a pristine 10.
Oh, you graded a pristine?
Yeah, shout out Walrus. He was the reason for that. But yeah, graded pristine, sold it. Then I graded 2 other 10s, CGC. Their turnaround times were silly fast at that time. I think Express for like $40 if you had the subscription with them, they were coming back in less than a week. So it was just like a quick turn and burn. And the one, I didn't think it was going to pristine at all. Like I was massaging the shit out of corners through the card saver and stuff, and the thing came back pristine. And then I sold it. I was very happy. So very happy.
Probably the massaging of the corners that got CGC to graded a pristine. Actually,
oh, like it had to have been. Yeah, it was given a little bit of love. Like that's all it needed. Yeah, I graded that and 2 other 10s, and they sold, but they sold internationally, and the guy returned them as soon as he got them because they had already.
You allow returns?
No, I didn't get the return. Like eBay took the return. International.
How does that work?
So international sales through eBay, if it's returned, eBay eats it. So they eat the return.
Where's the card go?
They get the card back, and then they sell the card on like a proxy eBay seller like store, and then they sell it through that. So that's what they do. So you don't get hit with that at all, because that was almost $700 the guy was trying to charge back because he didn't want the cards after, he was living in Australia. It took him, I don't know, a month to get to him. So
I guess it's kind of a creative way to lock in your price of a card if you're speculating if it goes up or down. Because like I've locked this in, if it goes up by the time it gets to me, great. If it's going down, I'm just going to return it.
Just going to return it, yeah.
Yeah.
Which sucks for the seller.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's really crappy for the seller, but for the international, like for us, it's not bad. But if it's, in the US, that would be kind of crappy. And you get returns and stuff.
Well, I mean, but you're not. Oh, well, it would still go through authenticity guarantee. Is that any different, or is it strictly just international sales?
No, I think authenticity guarantee too. I think they take care of it as well. I don't think
because at that price point, it would be the same situation.
Yeah. So yeah, safe both ways. Well, so when I was selling the pristine 10, I think the guy instantly had buyer's remorse, and he was sending me messages like, "Well, is there a black dot here on the thing?" It's like before you.
And this was a graded copy.
This was a graded PSA or CGC pristine 10 of the card.
And look at the label, dude. Of course, there's probably a bend in the back. Like, what do you know what you're buying? Like, come on.
So I sent him a picture. I shipped instantly, and I didn't hear a word from him again after that. So it was just like, Walrus was like, I wouldn't have even said anything to him. I wouldn't have even engaged.
Yeah, I'd have been like, unsubscribe. Like, that probably would have been my message back. Like, sorry, man. I'm not interested in all this.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to lose this. I didn't lose the sale. I'm happy about it, but yeah, made my money there. So I'm interested in seeing where the Van Goghs go.
I got a couple. I'm going to see it. Like, I just can't decide what I want to do with them. Like, I'm just like, I want to open them, but also like I have one that has like a crappy corner, and I'm like, what do I do with this thing? I don't want to. Well, I know, but you've got the magic thumbs. Like mine are like, knowing me, I'll just rip the corner off. But I'm just like, I don't really want to sell it. Like, if it's messed up, but I also don't want to like have like a expensive binder card like that. I don't know. I'll probably end up grading them at some point. I literally just like, I've just been listing stuff like left and right, and that's like the last thing on my mind right now. I'm just sticking them in the cabinet and like seeing what happens later. So we'll see.
I sold one with a jacked corner for, I think it was like $110. It was silly. Like when they first came out, someone bought it. It was sealed.
Was it sealed? Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't open it. I just knew it was a jacked corner. I was like, well, that one I don't know. And then massage the other one. Believe me, like I was sending it to CGC, and I was like, this is not going to get a 10. And then it pristine. So I was whatever happened. Listen, I don't hate CGC as much as other people do. I think they definitely have their uses. A little slow.
Well, hell yeah! You just made $700 off.
Yeah,
of course they have their uses for a card that would probably PSA 8. It's like
a little slow right now in the turnaround times, but I think they have their their uses. Like all these, so I bought a bunch of classic collections. I'm sending a ton of stuff to CGC.
Oh, really?
Just because, like, everything that I can send, minus like the trainer cards, but most of the like Pokemon themselves, I'm sending them. I got them for cheap on stupid TikTok deals. I think they were like $277 with tax, so just over. I mean, what, $27 over? I think.
Is this the Japanese or the English?
The English ones.
Okay, you bought English. Gotcha. How are the hits? Because I know they're on the front of the deck.
The hits are in the middle of the deck.
Or middle? What?
Hits are on the front of the deck in the Japanese ones, I think.
Really? I didn't know that.
The English ones are like in the middle. Like you have. You go past a whole bunch of stuff, and then trainers, and then energy cards, and then like it's there in the middle.
You're right. Because Java Akuma, shout out to him. He did a really good opening of the Japanese box, and it was one of his biggest complaints, which I agreed. It was like Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur on top on the deck. So it's like those are the cards that can take the most damage.
Yeah, the most damage.
So,
yeah. So I ripped one. I have two more. I might keep one sealed. Just to have in the vicinity of the collection, but we'll see how that all goes. For CGC though, I'm just gonna send them all bulk at $9. It's just $9.60. It makes why not? Like you make your money back with the big hits, and then all the extra stuff is just ancillary. So it's not like a huge, like awesome, sexy play, but for what I do and how I dabble and everything, it's pretty good. So I'll go with that. Let's see. Pongo will be there the 8th.
Oh, no kidding, dude. That's awesome.
Look at that.
I'll be there for a work conference, so I know that I always get in a little bit early, so I get some time to walk around the city. So, yeah, just DM me around that time, dude. I'll grab a bourbon with you or whatever during a break from the conference I'm at, or like before. I don't know when I'm meeting up with Dave yet. I saw him last year when I was there, and he picked me up from the airport, and we immediately had like a 3-hour dinner. So I don't want to necessarily hit airport and then go with Dave in person. I'd rather go to my hotel,
decompress a little bit.
Yeah, just a bit. But yeah, hit me up, dude. I'd love to see you while I'm out there.
Awesome. Look at that. Texas has 5 Collecticons. I can see why it's slow, maybe boring. What's up, Fresh Tats? Great seeing you in here. So what? They have Dallas, Houston, Fort Worth. So they have 4 of them, I think, this year. It's crazy how many Collecticons are in Texas. I mean, big state, obviously, but it is wild. Well, they're from Texas, right? The showrunners are from Texas. So that makes sense. Let's see. Poke Chefs with Peak.
I'm sorry, I'm delaying the chat from talking so much. I'm sorry, Chef.
No, I'm
trying to reference even what it is.
Peak, I love it. Let's go. Tots can be a meal. A fry can only dream. This is true, Walrus. I love it. You don't have fry nachos, but you have tachos. Not frachos, tachos. So
I don't even know what to say to you.
I'm sorry. Listen, I'm a simple man living a simple life over here.
I was talking about
potato-based side dishes.
Potatoes deserve to stay on the side. Potatoes is the main course. I'm out. That's me.
Fry me potatoes crispy in any shape I'm in. That's great. Good stuff, Dan. We got Lord Pokey Smoke in here. What's going on, Pokey Smoke? What's good,
He was attacked. What's going on, dude?
Hope you guys enjoyed Collecticon, man. I really do. It sounds like you did. I hope everyone that was there. I saw some pictures. It looked like everyone was having a great time.
Yeah, I'm probably one of the worst people ever to document what I'm doing. Because I don't have any personal social media. I only have my Peekdatchu Instagram. So, and that's the only platform I use other than YouTube. But I never think to pull out my phone when I'm doing something. I just love in the moment,
being immersive,
just enjoying
it.
Yeah, and it's funny to even say that. It's that's such a rarity because everyone I see is just filming everything, which is cool. I mean, obviously it's a Collecticon. There's a bunch of stuff to look at, but I even one of the highlights of Collecticon. I met Sean Schimmel, the voice of Goku, for the first time.
Oh, nice.
And I didn't even pay for a picture. I was just I just want to talk to you, which was pretty funny. I had him sign a card, but his handler, helper, assistant, whoever was running everything, he had to tell Sean to stop talking. I was third in line or something because I was a vendor, so I was walked up at like 9 or whatever. Or I was there at 8, but they don't start until 10. So I waited like 45 minutes, and I was like third in line, talking to the guys in line, whatever, and then got up to him. And I told a few people this, but I've never understood waiting in line for someone that you want to meet or have signed something. And like they just walk up with their Funko, sit there, and they're just like, and they just don't speak. They just don't say anything. Like they don't even shake his hand. They're like, thanks. And then they just move on. Like it's so weird to me. That was the first 2 guys in front of me. And I was just like, what is going on here? So I ended up talking to him. I'd watched a lot of interviews about how, because he actually went to UNT here in Denton, Texas, which is where I went to school. And like, that's like 20 minutes away from me. And that's where I sold my house from before I moved here. So very familiar with the area. And he was like really inspired by this guy named John Hardman, who did like hand puppets and stuff. So like he was with his wife at the time, and like he just randomly worked at this puppet theater. Who the guy mentored him for voices for like puppets and stuff. His wife was looking for like modeling gigs or something, and was like, "You should go like try this cartoon thing," and it was Dragon Ball. And then he ends up getting a 30-year career of the main character of like the biggest anime series ever.
What talk about stepping in a pile, man? Like that's
dude. Insane. And he was like, but it was funny because I was like, hey, I know that you like really enjoy John Hardman. I watched a lot of stuff. Like, you have such an interesting story. And he just went all in.
That's great.
Like, would not stop. And his guy was like, Sean, we have to there's like 100 people at least in line now. They're just watching me and him standing there. No kidding, probably 10 plus minutes. Like, he's signing. You know how long that takes. Like, they sign and they go, appreciate it. Yeah, it's been great. Like, you might get 2 minutes of talking or whatever, but he had to be like, Sean, you got to go. And he was just like, I so hope we talk again. Like, and it wasn't one of those things where he's like, send it to everybody. It was just like, no, we were really bonding over this like mutual appreciation for like the art and kind of his rise to what he does. So that was a super cool highlight. But at no point did I think like I should really bust out my phone right now and like selfie this or something. Like, I'm like, who am I taking that for? Like, I'm here,
Yeah, people not being in the moment. So like, this year, I think for the New Jersey Collecticon, I'm going to do that a little bit with the cameras and stuff. I want to kind of vlog that. But for Orlando, I'm just going. It's going to be all just sucking it in and getting the whole feel of walking around and enjoying a Collecticon. I just really want to enjoy like the whole experience. It's cool. Like, I wish there was more. So I've only done one signing in my life where I had someone sign something, and it was Val Kilmer. So I was huge into Batman when I was a kid. Val Kilmer obviously was Batman. It was Batman Forever. No, Batman Robin. Which
no,
one?
it wasn't Batman. Batman Forever. George Clooney. It's Batman Forever.
Yeah, Batman Forever. So I met Val Kilmer. I had a sealed box of cards. It was the Batman Forever cards. It was like the photographic ones that they stick together. They're a pain in the ass. I have a couple of them here actually. He was such a jerk, man. He didn't.
No kidding, really.
He didn't want to talk to anyone. So I love the movie Tombstone as well. Like that's a great movie. Like so many iconic lines and stuff. He was so sour. I was just like, I was gonna have him sign. So I just walked away. Like he didn't want to give anyone his time. It was in like a small little spot in Jersey. Obviously, it wasn't like the best thing for him. But like you were there. It just really like turned me off to doing stuff like that. So I don't know if I'll ever have anyone sign anything for me because that experience was so poor. I was just like, I walked away. I was like, what just happened? Like, I feel like this is just like the worst experience of all time. So
it's like never meet your heroes or whatever they say.
Never meet your heroes. Like I went up, I was like, I'm your Huckleberry, and he just looked at me like I was the biggest asshole in the world. So I was like,
all right, hold on. This totally paints the picture. How many times do you think he's heard that?
Oh, probably like so many times. But don't put yourself there then, I guess. You know what I mean? Like
maybe. Because I don't think he meant it to you. You just didn't embody.
I did it for the 50,000th time. Yeah.
Because like when I met Chuck Norris, he was super nice. So what I always do, if there's anybody I'm going to meet like that, like I always look up like extensively just stuff about them. Like I don't like. And that's one thing that even Sean Schimmel and I talked about. It was like, I'm sure you get so tired of hearing people saying like, what's your favorite Dragon Ball episode? Or what's your favorite line you recorded? He's like, I couldn't even count the number of times. I've been asked the same questions over and over and over and over. And especially Val Kilmer. I mean, like, I love Real Genius. Have you ever seen that movie? Yeah. All-time favorite. That's a great movie. Good soundtrack. Tears for Fears. It's wonderful.
Dude, Tears for
but
Fears slaps.
good stuff. Yeah.
What a great band, man.
Good group. But I don't know. I would just imagine like, yeah, if I was, it's hard to put myself even in the shoes.
Well,
like, I don't
put
think
it
I'd
in
ever be an
perspective
asshole,
for me.
but
Maybe I was the jerk for saying that.
well, I don't even think you're a jerk. I think it's just like if you're constantly having to be there, like it's one thing if you just ran in on the street, you're like, you know, I don't know. If I saw a celebrity in the street, like I'd be like, or I'll give you an example. I was at American Airlines Center, went to UFC pay-per-view, and Steve-O was there. As we're walking up, he's like walking with his girlfriend alone to like go in. He's like, you know, with Rogan or whatever. And so I'm walking by. And I was like, "What's up, Steve-O?" Just literally did this and just kept walking. Like didn't even look back or anything. Because I'm just like, I don't really get starstruck. But then I'm also like, is anybody going to be like, "Let me kick you in the nuts," like, you know, or whatever? Like, how many times do you think he probably has people say that? So I just try to not be like, you know. And I'm not saying you're like this at all. I'm just saying,
no,
like,
you know, I was 19. Like, I was probably like starstruck. I was just
you were
like,
pumped.
I was like, pumped to fucking see him. Like, I was like, dude, like, yes. And so what you said makes sense. Like, yeah, he's probably tired of hearing that. Poor guy.
Sorry, chat. I'm ranting again. My bad.
Rant. I love it, dude. The rant.
This is beers and podcasting.
Hey, everyone, cheers. Beers and podcasts. I love it.
It's a good time.
All right, let's see what we got here. Question: when is Peak selling on Whatnot? I love to watch a PK hit piece on him.
You will never see me on an auction platform, my friend. I'm sorry. I just don't have the personality, the patience, or the work ethic, or the time. That's my biggest thing. And also, I think Whatnot is a decent platform for what it is, but I think that eBay Live is going to very easily take them over because there's nothing outside of just auctions. You can't do spin wheels. You can't do a bunch of other stuff. So it's like carnival games. It's almost like, I'll do this comparison. It's like indie wrestling in like a high school gym with a bunch of barbed wire and like, oh, this is crazy. And then it's like WWE is eBay Live. It's like, you can get away with all this stuff and like you can go there, but it's like, why would you not just go to the best, which is going to be eBay Live? So I saw Nick in here earlier. So Nick, that guy will be the GOAT. He'll be the Rusty of eBay Live here shortly. He's on the up and up. So I was going to say,
eBay Live is going to win because of Nick. Like
probably.
He has the most energy of any person I think I've ever seen on a live ever. Like that man kills it. Like he's pumped constantly.
He's a machine. We went to lunch while we were at Collecticon with Harry, who's Pokey Chloe's husband, and then I think it's Chibi Collectibles is how you pronounce it. There might be an L in there, but Sam, and then Trophy Car
and Charlotte. Yeah, Sam and Charlotte.
Good guy. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was me, Nick, and then 3 guys from London. So that was actually a really interesting, fun lunch. But they were talking about the differences in eBay and what you're able to do, like with eBay Live or just eBay in general and selling platforms versus what you can do in the States. And it's like, what was one thing we had talked about? There's something that, they don't even have eBay Live. Actually, that's what it is. They don't have eBay Live in the UK. It's only in the US right now. And Nick was going over some of the numbers that he's done. They're just like, there's no way we would be able to do that with what we have right now. Like, just because it really showed like how large the US is and the customer base versus the UK. So it was a really interesting. I won't go on a full tangent, but it was a really interesting conversation to hear.
Tangent. I love it. Keep going.
No, with when you had Terry Lake on here talking conspiracies, I was like, man, I'm just sitting here with a bourbon. I could go all in on that for so long.
Well, we can touch on that a little bit too. You were definitely very vocal in the chat with all of that, which I
know I know a lot about that stuff. But let's, anyway, to keep it Pokemon, we'll wait till until the
after
OGs
hours
stay around toward the end. Yeah, we'll wait till the OGs are the only ones hanging around. But yeah, it is interesting. I think I won't ever be on Whatnot or an auctioning platform to my knowledge. I'd rather supply inventory for those people if I can. But when it comes to if I had to pick one, I'd be on eBay Live. They're going to dominate the space, in my opinion.
So speaking of supplying inventory for people, you're in a little new venture in Pokemon. Let's talk about that for a little bit. What do you got going on in life with that?
Yeah, so one of the recent things that I've taken on a role to broker just a portfolio of graded slabs. So this is kind of a newer venture, I think, and a lot of people that I haven't seen people in Pokemon do necessarily, at least publicly or just been available. So I'm it's a portfolio of, I mean, this number will obviously fluctuate, but I think there's roughly 14,000 graded cards or something like that in it. And they go from anywhere from, as cheap as $20 all the way up to whatever price you want to spend, basically. But the goal of it is to be able to offer large quantities and large sums of graded cards to Whatnot streamers, eventual eBay streamers, anyone who live streams, or people who are just literally looking for inventory. So, hey, I've got a CollectCon coming up. I need, I don't know, $2,000 of product, and I need in this price range. Here they are. PSA, CGC, all of that. So, still working out a lot of the things. I've had a few conversations with some people so far, but it just started literally like in the first half of February or something. So a little bit more recent, but for anyone looking for that sort of inventory, that's what I'm really doing. It's not going to be at like the 60% level. Like I'm not trying to break into brick and mortar pricing or anything like that. But the main thing is just being able to get as much inventory as you'd like, and preferably consistent buys month over month or every quarter, whatever it looks like. At still a discounted rate, so you're still making money, but you don't have to go out and buy all these collections and grade all these cards and like all these different sources. It literally just goes, okay, this is my supplier of this particular part of my inventory, and this is who I'm going to. So I am the kind of broker between that. I guess is the best way to describe it. So that's like probably a long
wholesale graded cards going to like Whatnot sellers.
Pretty much.
That's awesome, dude. Has it been? So, have you been like getting into it, or is it still more like in a building phase, or are you starting to see like returns from stuff?
So there's been a few things that have like gone through, but nothing. It's really just testing out, like, people I know, and that's really part of the reason that I was like asked to do that. I mean, I have a little bit of a social presence. I do know a lot of people in the hobby, so it's like, from whatever level, it's like I have a rep and I'm a trustworthy source, because how many people do you see like, hey, for sale? And they're like, I have no idea who you are. Like, you've got a question mark as a username or whatever. It's like, what are you going to send me, man? Like a piece of paper with a Charizard? Like, so, for people actually running a business, which is who I'm focusing on, that is my primary, I guess what I'd call clientele that I want to go with. And then there's some high-end cards within it that, there's one that, that I just brokered that was a $3,000, it was the Rockets Persian, the Spring Hollow promo, PSA 10, which was like a pop like 12 or something. So someone found me, saw me post it. I didn't follow them, never interacted with them. They're like, hey, is this available? But being able to see who I follow, who follows me, like it just gives me a good medium to be like, yes, let me connect the two parties that would normally not find each other. So some higher end sales, but mainly what I would like to focus on is consistent buys, monthly, quarterly, and just supplying someone from as a single source. That's the goal.
That's awesome, man. That good for you. I hope that business takes off. I hope it becomes something that other people try to emulate and try and like, you know what I mean? Like, cause that'll be like, sure, open up in a whole nother space. And like collect, I think, other than people going for buyouts at like collecticons and stuff and just, doing it that way, they can just go to like a source that's trusted, that they know they're going to get consistent like that. That's awesome. Like the consistency, because that's what they're looking for when they're buying out of collecticons, like these Whatnot sellers and stuff. They're looking for that consistency, and they have to go spend, crazy amounts of money and drop so much money in, 4 or 5 months worth of money. How many collecticons are you going to? Like, however much money, capital, right, in that amount of time, or you can do it monthly and get what you need and kind of like plan your business around that. It's definitely an awesome service you're providing.
It's just one of those things where it's like, you're basically just budgeting. And it could be as low or as high as you want, really. I mean, obviously not like, hey, I'll spend $50 a month with you. Like, I don't know what that means, but like, if it's like, hey, I've like people actually running like and trying to scale their business, it really what it gives them an out for, which, apologies to all my friends who do this, but it's like, instead of like consigning all your stuff to save a little bit of money up front, like if you want to build your brand and build your store or build whatever it is, like you can get the inventory yourself and not have to be like, well, I'm just going to have to buy full listed on eBay and hope my offers get accepted and do that one slab at a time. Like it just allows you to be able to build your stuff until you can eventually either consign, if you want to. I mean, that's really the biggest thing. It's like you either consign your stuff or you build your own brand or you build your own store. So like this gives people an option to say, okay, I need inventory. That's step one. where the hell do I get it? You know, am I just going to rip packs constantly? Like that,
Yeah.
in my opinion, I don't think that's scalable personally, but,
Full time ripping
can be.
packs is definitely not scalable. You're going to lose more than you win. The house wins all that. You win a little bit. You're going to lose a lot of that though. Unless you're super lucky. I've been lucky a lot. Like you open a lot of packs, you get lucky, but you have streaks of just like trash.
Well, and that's the goal. Like if I try to put myself in a mentality, because I thought about it and like wanted to, you know, is this something I want to dedicate my time to? I have a very successful career I do now, but I'm like, do I think I can make an impact? Do I think this is a different enough offering that, you know, everybody does almost the same thing in this hobby. Like a lot of the content's the same, a lot of the, you know, posting sales, like there's just so much like copy paste,
monkey do. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and nothing against everybody who does it. I mean, it's, you know, it is what it is, just what people want to watch. So I think this being able to like disrupt a little bit of the space, like, and I hate using that word market disruptor, but it's like, you know, being able to get that out there and say, hey, this is an alternative to you, you know, consigning your stuff. Now, granted, I think consignment services are fantastic. It's just amazing, like how much money everybody in the end can make and save. But I'm just thinking like, you know, there's some people who say like, well, I want to get to that, or I want to build my own brand and I'm willing to like sacrifice X percentage of my sales in order to like see that slow growth to get to the eventual goal I want to be at, versus just taking quick money now, which there's nothing wrong with either one of those choices. It's just like, there's no one for that former person I mentioned, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it.
Awesome.
That's my spiel. Everyone buy. No, I'm just kidding.
Buy, baby. Buy for Peek. Peek, the old PSA 8 Skull Kid went to a new home in Dallas this weekend.
You bought my PSA 8 Skull Kid and then you flipped it in my hometown. The worst anime betrayal, or worst betrayal in anime history. No, I'm kidding, dude. That's awesome though. At least it's close by. It's around me.
Best Legend of Zelda video game.
Majora's Mask by far.
Really?
Not even a question.
What?
Not even a question.
That moon freaks me out, man. I can't do it. It's too much. I don't know.
That's what it's supposed to. That's why it's there. It's supposed to make you feel like
anxiety. That shit gave people anxiety for the rest of their lives. That's what that
the Happy Mask salesman was amazing. Like, there's so many. The soundtrack. I think every Zelda soundtrack does that, but it's like,
oh, they're so good. The Zelda games they kill the music every time. Every little like thing they do for it is just so well done. So Zelda cards, like, what made you dive into those when you were diving into them heavily? Like, was it just the games, or do you just love the IP that much? Like,
I just started getting bored with Pokemon, and I was like, let me think of the other things that made my childhood, and it was Dragon Ball and Zelda, and I was like, I wonder if I knew there were Dragon Ball cards. I was already in those, but I was like, I wonder if Zelda has cards. And then I found them, and I was like, oh, there's a lot of different ones that came out. But like the Interplay, the 2016s, which is what I primarily went after, I was like, these look so cool. Like and I think John Radar, Pokemon Radar for short now. He was the only person I'd ever seen like talk about them or like open a box or something like that, or post about him. He's bought like every TCG. He's ripped Lion King cards. Like, he's done all kinds of stuff.
Okay, so he's deep into all that. I didn't know that. I didn't know he was in all that.
He's got one of like probably every IP that's ever existed in cards at
awesome.
this point. Like, just old product that's stashed away. But yeah, I just really love the IP, and I was like, Majora's Mask was my favorite game. And the cool thing about the 2016 Interplay cards is they have art from all the games up to, I think it's Wind Waker, I think was the name of it.
Twilight Princess?
Twilight Princess, that's what it was.
Twilight
so it went all the way up to that. And versus the other ones were themed based on one specific game. So I like the idea of having all the games in one collectible card game. So I got into them. I graded like at the time like 54% of the gold foil pop, like of all PSA, and got absolutely wrecked mostly on 8s. Had a couple of 10s, but no crazy songs. But the one card that I love, which Pokesmoke knows, is PSA 10 Skull Kid is like my favorite card in the set. So I never was able to grade a 10. I know Walrus had one, and I joked about you this weekend, Walrus. I was like, yeah, Walrus had a PSA 10 of this, and I was like, can I buy it? He was like, sure. I was like, what do you want for it? He's like, I don't know. What do you want to pay for it? I was like, or no, you didn't say that. You said, well, I'll take market. I'm like, there is no market. And I think that's where our conversation stopped because I was like, I've already asked so many times. I'm done. Like, I can't keep doing
Yeah, I
this.
can't
Like,
keep.
I'm not going to do that.
Sell
I'm
the
not
man
gonna
his
accept the
PSA
market.
10 Skull Kid. For the love of God, Walrus, please.
I'll take it. Open offer, $30. We'll call it even. And a friendly, we'll call it
a
the
win-win-win for everyone all around.
It's a dead TCG, man. It's basically MetaZoo. Like, come on, just sell it to me for cheap.
Man. MetaZoo. What are your thoughts?
I think somebody asked that, so we can. I don't want to hold up chat any longer. If
all right, we'll go down chat a little bit. Illustrators are printed demand. One day the hobby will wake up. It's just like them printing those old boxes, right? They're printing base set boxes every day. People keep opening them.
Yeah, Leonhardt. He gets them mailed every month.
Mailed. He buys them on Amazon.
Yeah.
Hello, it's me, Pogo Ono. Hit me up if you want an illustrator. Trend is walking conventions instead of vending. Are y'all bearish on conventions, dude?
Not at all.
No, bullish. 100% bullish on conventions. I mean,
they're trade shows. Like, depending on what you do, like,
you think of the amount of people that are going to, like, Chicago, like, just in our group, like, that's going to be a huge show. Like, these shows, they have 12 now. They wouldn't have expanded from what they had 8 last year to 12 this year unless things were going extremely well.
They cut the Vanilla Ice contract, so they're saving a ton of cash now.
They got Lit. Lit's playing at Long Beach, so I just saw that. Like, what the fuck? Like, Lit.
That is cool. I would actually.
I would love. Like, listen, it would be so much better than Tone Loc, or like just let Lit play an extra set instead of having Jason Page go up for his Go Pokemon Go song. Like, that would be cool.
Hey, I don't mind Jason Page, his music. I think he's a great singer. He's always entertaining. Props to him. Probably not one of the more interesting people I've met, but he's a good singer. I like him. He's
good. He likes the Jason Page. Yeah, dude, Lit would be good. I would love to see Lit. I wonder what's going to happen in New Jersey. Maybe they'll get Bruce Springsteen or Bon Jovi to come.
Oh yeah, for sure. Without a doubt. For sure, probably both.
Duets. What's good, Weedle? Let's see. We're not whales at Weedle Warehouse. We don't have the inventory. Y'all see how good Weedle's jawline on that last night's stream. Hey, what's up, old school Pokemon? Happy to see you here. Thanks for showing up, Nick. I really appreciate it. I know you're a busy man doing all the eBay lives, but thank you for showing up, dude. I really do appreciate it. Yeah. Weedle has a perfectly chiseled jawline. Hit me up, Beerski. I'm in with the spicy, so is Weedle. All right. I would love a spicy takeover. The spicy boy's gonna be good, man.
I think I'm with Ricky and Jake while I was out there. Everyone else go. I read it in his voice now.
I read it in his voice too. How could you not read it in his voice? Don't sleep on Atlanta. It's going to be a great con. Dude, Hot Atlanta. Let me tell you, I've been there so my wife and I went on a 2-week honeymoon. We drove to New Orleans. Then we went to, we went Binghamton, Alabama is where we stopped first, but that was just like a layover to get to New Orleans. Went to New Orleans, Asheville, Atlanta. Well, so Atlanta, then Asheville. Atlanta was cool. Like, I think I went the last year they had their old stadium there for baseball. So there was Chipper Jones Day, which is great. Big Chipper Jones fan. Even though I'm a Yankees fan, like, I watched the Yankees play, them in a World Series. And, Chipper Jones is a Hall of Fame, baseball player. It's awesome. So, yeah, Atlanta's a great city. A lot of good bars, fun time. It's nice. Like, it's clean. I like Atlanta. It's a nice city. Should be a good time. Yep, old school Pokemon, man. Making an appearance. Southern Van goes now before it's too late. Yeah, so I was wrong. Like, silly me would be like thinking like, oh, they could become the Screen promos in a couple of years. But again, the boom. Boom, is the boom going to be there though? Like, the boom's not going to. We experienced such a crazy. crazy thing that happened. And
Dude, it's only crazy because we went through it and we saw what was before.
we saw,
It's
yeah,
very easy.
and I didn't really see it was before. I wasn't really in the hobby before that as a kid, obviously, but like going back and like knowing what we have now, and then like looking back at what was before the boom, like it's crazy that that happened. Like that whole event happened and exploded this hobby the way it did. So this is, I mean, how many YouTube channels are there now? Talk to me 10 years ago. I would never think I'd be on here talking about Pokemon with people that talked about Pokemon. Like it's just not a
Right.
thing that was on my scope, radar, anything. So like it's just wild what's happening in the world, in this collectible world. What was MetaZoo looking like at Collecticon? So what was MetaZoo looking like there?
I saw a
showing his
little bit of
promos.
I won't spoil him. But Dan has some very cool things related to those, I'll say, that I got to see in person. No spoilers. Anyway.
I'm going to buy them all, so it doesn't matter. So just keep them coming, Dan.
I did see a little bit of MetaZoo at some booths, but I mean, as most people do, I kept walking. So there was no insight really other than, hey, there it is. Somebody actually put this out for display, like to sell. Like that's insane. Whatever the product was, some box. No, it was like no. It was like some, MetaZoo had like 1,500 SKUs or something. Like it was just an insane amount of stuff. So it was like some gift box looking thing. I don't know. It was marked at $20, and I was like, who's buying this? Like
someone.
That was all I could think. Like I didn't hate MetaZoo. I didn't really like the way the business was ran, but I'm also like, this is really like this soon. You're just gonna throw your MetaZoo out, and they had like all Pokemon, and then it was like a section for this particular booth that had like a bunch of MetaZoo product that, looking at pricing, just they were like $30 raw cards there. It was like, no one's buying this. It's like, what are you doing?
Not anymore.
So it was interesting, but no, almost none. Like that was the only part that I saw some.
Those are the people hoping that no one knew that MetaZoo was dead. Because I'm sure people that are going to those Collecticons can't be as deep as we are. Like
they're not buying MetaZoo, dude. Like there's
not even a little bit.
No, I remember when I was at Denver, I was vending and I had a lot of Dragon Ball Super there. Dragon Ball Super is still doing really well, and like nobody cared about anything but Pokemon. Nobody cared about it. That's all people want. That's all the masses want, dude.
I sold a couple DBZ cards at Collecticon in Charlotte. I think one or two. And I brought a couple home with me. But what I did,
and that's really good. Like that's awesome.
And listen, I felt good about it. Like one was like what was it? It was a Broly card, and it was like double-sided. It was just like a Broly in normal form, and then like Broly going like freaking ape shit. It was like a $60 card. Someone bought it. I was super surprised someone bought it because they were up on eBay for the longest time. The dude came over, was like, "I want that." I was like, "Yeah, buy it."
I looked around for some cheap Dragon Ball since it's a little bit more. I won't say it's down, but it's like some of the older stuff. The special rares are like, or the secret rares, are so cheap. So I was like, "Who has Dragon Ball?" And like nobody really had anything, and it was all Pokemon. It was all Pokemon, dude. Like it was insane. Like,
how do you feel about
people had?
How do you feel about Dragon Ball's new stuff coming out?
I'll be honest, I have barely looked at it. I took a step back from it because I was like, I like this stuff, but it's like I would buy cases of this stuff like with every new set that had God rares in it, and it was good because I could make money on tinning the majority of SPRs and SCRs that I graded, but you can't even break even buying a case now. So it's like, ever since then, I was like, I did, but then I saw the next one. I was like, looking at what sales were. I was even selling some of the Realm of the Gods cards, which is a fantastic set. Like, had the first God rare in it. And I've got SCRs that are PSA 10 that I would just auction. Like, not like crazy ones, but like they'd auction for like $20 in a PSA 10. And I'm like, there's like no demand. And like these are cards that literally like, you get one or you get two per case, 2 secret rares per case. And like, they're going to sell for $20 at a PSA 10.
Yeah,
like, I was like, I'm out. Like, there's no way for me to engage in this. Like, and I'm not just going to buy loose boxes. That's just not like what I would do with that. So Haven't looked too much into it. Gump Brave on Discord. I don't know if he has an Instagram, maybe, but him and I have a lot of like private conversations. He keeps me kind of up to date and shows me some stuff. But I hope they turn it around. Like it's such an amazing IP. It's like just bring signature cards back. Like they didn't turn them into power. Like there's so many things they could do, but I don't know. You're never going to beat Pokemon, so be different. Like, come on.
That's it. Don't be Pokemon. Like Pokemon's Pokemon. You can't beat the big dog, but you can carve your own little spot out. Like, so why did the old, so it was what, Dragon Ball Super? Or
that was the card game that I was into, yeah.
So what was the card game before the newest one that came out?
Score.
All right. So so they're going to this new card game, new format or whatever it is, same back and everything. Was it like, I guess I heard power creep? Was there so much power creep in the game that it destroyed the game and they had to restart, or what was the deal?
I have no idea. Okay. I never looked at Score, never got into it. I was just like, Dragon Ball Super, hey, they've got a super cool Vegeta card called a God Rare, and there's one per like 5 or 6 cases. I want to buy this. And that's just where it started. And that is literally where my knowledge began. And I pulled that, which was amazing. I pulled it.
Oh, that's all I do. That's great.
Yeah, it was fantastic. So I think I don't know if I've ever seen a sale higher than mine because I graded it a 10. I don't think I've ever seen a sale surpass what I sold mine for. I sold it for $4,200 to a guy in like New Zealand or something, and I've never seen the price go above like $3,600. I think right now they're even at like 23 or something. Like
Damn.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I was proud of that one. That was
yeah. That's a huge dub.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Let's see. We got Ponga saying to Brad, "Good thing he sold their Van Goghs at 150."
Seriously.
Pokesmoke, missed you fools already. Can't wait for the next con. Yeah, man, it's coming up soon.
Good time hanging.
It was September. I was banging on my phone on the beach. My wife was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" LOL. I was sitting in getting an oil change for the Van Gogh Pikachus. Ponga's a scammer. Van Gogh going to 0. I don't know about that, Mason Bear.
No. Van going to 0.
Oh, there you go. Well played, sir. Well
Good
played.
Stuff, Mason.
That would be a wild hold. Yeah. Well, I don't have the best takes always, but you never know. Listen, the Scream promos, man, they research like stagnant, went high, came down, and I think around Charlotte Collecticon they were going back up again. Like, so you just never know.
Japanese exclusive. That's the main wall. That's the hurdle.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll ever see an exclusive English promo like do anything like what exclusive Japanese promos do. I don't think we'll ever see it.
Yeah.
Basic Trainer has some fun theories around that, but I won't get into them here. But
where is Basic tonight?
I think I saw him.
No, we're not talking about aliens. We're so far behind. Listen, that's not a bad thing, though. Talk about scammer Nick selling $50 cards for $90 on eBay Live.
Hey, Nick doesn't control the buyers. Don't blame him.
Or $20 cards for 1. Yeah, man. Easy buys things for the cash.
Yeah, everybody should join Nick's eBay Live now before he's got like 1,000 people watching him like a year, so you can get stuff cheap. That's the goal.
Bierski is right. eBay currently making money off my PSA 10 Elsa Enchanter Rare that was supposed to be delivered to Germany. Yeah, man. Listen, they take all that stuff back. It's wild. Like, they eat all that and sell it at whatever I'm sure books no fees for eBay. They can freaking pump those in, suggested, buys all over the place. What a nightmare. Is Walrus a menace or a savior of the hobby? I get mixed signals. Oh, he is the Phantom Menace. He's a little bit of both. He's everywhere. Walrus is the Phantom Menace of the hobby.
The anti-hero. Yeah.
Helping homies print. Menace for sure. Dude, Walrus, I'm telling you, you helped me print. I was at work sitting in my truck and he was just like, I was like, I'm not going after these Van Gogh Pikachus. And he goes, dude, it's what, it was $40, $20. He goes, you'll make your money selling them raw. And he was right, dude. I think I made like $1,100 on 3 cards. It was some stupid amount of money.
Good for you. That's amazing.
You just keep rubbing it.
Talking about the Van Gogh corner.
Seal jacked corner. Dude, you just gotta give it a little love, man. You just massage this. You put it. Look, it goes in one card saver, and then you put it down, and you take your nail and you rub the corners, and anything on those corners comes out. Whitening will go away sometimes. It's amazing.
I feel like you need to open up a service here. This is
dude, Bierski's massage,
all organic,
not Ken's card cares. It's Bierski. It's gonna be Bierski's massages.
You might get some other people that don't have cards for that.
Yeah, right. Don't want that. Peek just asked me on a date. There you go.
Yeah, I'll take you out. I'll buy you a bird.
Heads up, Pongo only orders chicken tenders. Pongo cute confirmed. Let's see. Goku, the guy from Fortnite. Yeah, dude, Fortnite's got everyone. Question for Peek. Any plans to bring back Collector Showcase? That series was amazing.
Not in the way that it was, and I mean that by. Yeah, it's funny. I get asked about it a lot. So I would schedule out every single guest I was going to have before I even started one single live episode, and I cannot stress how incredibly difficult and unnecessary that is. I basically had this vision of like I wanted to treat it like a TV show season. It's like here's when you can tune in. Like you don't even have to guess when I'm going live. Like because everybody does this. They go in and will randomly show up or randomly go live and don't schedule stuff, or they're like, hey, every Tuesday I'm doing this. Like I wanted this to be like a crap, I've got to wait 2 weeks until this next one. And what I enjoyed doing was being able to like, I would announce the guests at the end of one episode for the next one, but nobody knew who the guests were going to be. So it progressively just like, people are like, oh wow, I don't know who this is, or I know these guys. So to answer the question directly, it is going to be put on hold for this year. I think it's hard for me to say 100%. And you and I talked about this earlier. I think I said it in my last YouTube video that I did that, like 10 people watched it. I was just ripping 151 and it was late at night, but I'm expecting my third child in August. So
Congrats.
Thank you, man. I appreciate
Congrats
it.
again.
Yeah. Like I told you, I don't do the hard work. I just got to show up and here's the gift of a child. But so with that, I mean, there's a lot of things that I'm doing like professionally and like, ways I'm engaged in the hobby and things that I'm running. So I want to do it, but I want to do it in the right way. And I'm fine being patient with it because I don't want to just, I go back and forth. Like, I don't want to just randomly show up with somebody live and like do something. Like, I feel like that's been done. Like if I want an ongoing thing, I want to be able to at least like plan it out. I want an intro for it. I want like, a voiceover, like a voice dub that I did like my last one. I've got like a lot of really, really, really cool people that are like ready to come on and like have a conversation. It's me getting in my own head and like obsessing about like, I want it to be this particular way. So yes, maybe this year, doubtful. If I do it, it would more than likely be next year, but I don't know, man. There's people that I'm literally like, I need to just like shut up and get these people on and showcase who this person is. Like now, like my guy who brought all the world stuff, like it's like there's so many.
That guy would be amazing to have on. Dude, just having that collection, like you are part of Pokemon history. Like you're the only one that has this. I'm sure. Like that would be crazy to have on.
One of the very few. Like for example, like John Brooks, like him and I still talk quite a bit. Blastoise Kid, that was like one of the episodes that everybody loves to like talk to me about. Like him and I still fairly regularly talk, and like he's down to like come on and do a catch up video of like from where like that might be a one off that I do because he's been engaging a lot more when it comes to buying stuff and like different things and like checking stuff out. So like that would be a really fun like follow up to my original like nobody'd seen this guy, nobody interviewed this guy to like see where he's at now, where his collection is and what he's doing. Like that's probably one-offs like that I think I'd be fine with. But as far as like doing the actual collector showcase series, I don't know if it's probably not gonna be ready this year. I need somebody to do voiceover. I need an editor to edit an intro for me for like a minute long. And my biggest constraint is I don't even want to say time. It's just prioritizing it over other things I'm doing. It's hard for me to put that above other things. So
Okay.
if you can't tell, I have a very hard time at doing short, easy answers.
No, dude, I love it, man. Keep them coming. This is great. There you go, Ponga. Answer
thank you,
for
Ponga. I appreciate the kind words. I don't think I said that. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I thought I was slated for collectors with the PSA 6 episodes.
Well, she'll definitely be on. It's without a doubt. I think I had you written down on my list.
We got BB in here. We'll watch us back. Just wanted to say hello to all the wonderful people here. Excited to see this tomorrow. Thank you, BB, for being here. I appreciate it, bud. I'm not good about taking pics in a moment. Oh, wow. We are so far behind. Let's see. We're like 40 minutes behind.
All right,
not going to take pics in the moment, but I just recorded a recap because my mind is awful and I won't remember if I don't. BB. Imagine standing at a urinal next to Val and saying, "I'm your Uncle Barry." Oh,
you know, would be even greater. Would be even greater. It's like
I wish that's how. I wish that's how it really went. Like that'd be a much better.
Val Kilmer looks at you. He's like,
he looked at me like I was the biggest asshole on the planet. So I don't. It was just like I felt. At the time, I was younger. I was probably just obtuse, didn't realize it. Like now, like you saying it, and I should have realized it much sooner. Like, yeah, I would be annoyed too. They're just people, man.
Agreed. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, everyone puts their pants on the same way in the morning. No one has a special way of putting their pants on, one leg at a time.
Both legs at the same time makes perfect sense.
Coming from the bot, beep boop, beer, ski, and bourbon. Yeah, man. Let me tell you, it's I'm Woodford Reserve. I love it. Like that's my go-to in my house when I'm drinking bourbon. I don't really dabble too much, but that's the one I go to.
That's what I always drink on the plane. Any airplane. That's all I get on the plane.
Bourbon.
I just get 2 or 3 of those little Woodford Reserve. And they have the little minis on airplanes. They have a deal with like American Airlines.
See,
that's the only bourbon they've got.
So I haven't flown in so long, and I'm going to be flying like Spirit Airlines to Orlando, and they are not going to have Woodford Reserve on there.
Why would you risk your life that way?
I don't know. Listen, cheap flight. That's
You're
why.
Gonna pay. Are you bringing luggage?
So I have to look. So I've been looking. I'm on the Hopper app. They charge you for everything. Like Spirit charges you for everything. So I might just go to American Airlines. I'm also gigantic. Not as tall as Dan, but gigantic. You know, I don't fit in airline seats. Like it's ridiculous.
Here's my recommendation. I travel a good amount. I love finding deals in travel. This is probably pretty like 101, but like just hit up Ernie or somebody in Orlando and just mail all your stuff there and just take a backpack.
Could
you're not going to pay anything. Like, I mean, obviously not clothes or anything, but like, you know, mail all your inventory.
Yeah. Brad G cards. They're coming to you, Brad G.
Yeah. Cause Dan and Nick and a couple other people, I always tell them like, whenever Dallas Collecticon comes around, I'm just like, just mail me everything, dude. I'm going to see you guys anyway. So, and it saves them like a considerable amount.
Oh, so much.
Spirit will tax you. Spirit will tax you for checking anything if you bring a big bag.
You get one carry-on or one personal item. It's not even a carry-on. They charge you for the carry-on too. So I have to look through it. The flight is probably going to end up costing like $300 to $350, but that's fine. It's better than driving 15 hours because normally I would drive or
dying, because if you've ever flown Spirit, have you ever flown Spirit before?
No.
Okay, it'll be the last time you do.
Oh, well,
you'll be praying. You'll be praying.
I don't like airplanes, dude. I'm not a big fan. Like they scare the shit out of me.
Don't do this to yourself.
I won't. So I haven't been on an airplane since 2017. That's how long. Like I'm just, for whatever reason, my older age, I've just developed this not wanting to get on an airplane thing. And
I love flying.
Maybe Spirit's not the way to go.
No, make it an experience.
Jesus Christ. Biersky agrees. You're just a hater. Unbelievable. I'm not a hater, just jealous. Who's this Mason guy? If it makes you feel better, Dan, even get on there right now. Yeah, dude. Dan, I don't know if Dan wants to get on there right now. Dan's living the low key life right now, working nights. I think Dan's live right now too. So we got lots of going on. Nick walks away while auctions are running. Man's printing while urinating. Next to Val Kilmer. Yeah. And didn't even wash his hands. Oh my God, you guys are ridiculous.
Yikes.
No soap. Ocarina of Time. Yeah, I'm out. Anything else is sus. Dude, Ocarina of Time is not the best Legend of Zelda game. I know.
I already said it earlier. It's Majora's
Mask. Think Twilight Princess is a better game.
Yikes.
That's such a good one. Oh, no. I like it. It's a good one. I mean, I love Ocarina of Time. Have you gone back and tried playing N64 Ocarina of Time? Like actually?
No, I will do the classic boomer gatekeep and be like, this is my favorite, and everyone else is wrong.
Yeah.
I don't do that on any topic, but that's the one.
Miserable. Yeah. And your C button.
Majora's Mask was on there too.
Yeah, C button.
It was the target button, the Z at the back. Yeah,
the Z button. Hey, yeah. What the hell?
I loved it. I loved N64 or whatever that was. It N64 or GameCube? I can't remember.
N64. GameCube had a version. It was like it was the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and then you had like the Master Quest version as well. It's like it was on the same little tiny CD. Those were cool. Upgraded that one to a 9, so had to go to a new home. Oh, closer to a 10. Pokesmoke getting close.
You almost got a buyer.
I can accept Twilight Princess or Breath of the Wild, but
all right, I'm not buying you a bourbon. You're buying your own bourbon.
Oh man, it's gotta be Ocarina. Bolero Fire and Ocarina goes hard for no reason, dude. Bolero Fire is the best song in Ocarina of Time. Walrus, on point, dude. It is the best one. Oh, yes, I love hearing that. That's great. Ocarina of Time, or you're wrong. He said it again. Pumping the interplay cards. Glad I have all my PSA 9s. I said 45 and he said new. I threw it out.
That is 100% false.
Jason P and Nose Candy are a Collecticon staple. Oh my God. Can't say no to that.
No comment.
Some bands hate playing the hits. Jason only has
2.
That's it. Only has 2. Well, Go Pokemon Go is not another hit. He has 1 hit. It's the one
he collaborated with a metal guitarist and did the Pokemon theme song. It was pretty sick.
Oh, that's
I actually liked it a lot. They remixed it and it was like they did a whole music video. It was dope. I liked it.
Oh, we got
Tupac hologram.
Basic Trainer. They need to get a Tupac hologram with Collecticon.
Basic, you're here for the conspiracy talk later. You made it.
There you go, Basic. Atlanta's a great city. NOLA's a better city. I can't see them doing a Collecticon in NOLA. That would be interesting. That would be a complete shit show, I think. I can't see how that one would end well for people. NOLA's food is S tier. Yeah, went there on my honeymoon. It was pretty good. Settle down, Beerski. You're circling boomer vibes.
Not with me on stream. I promise I will out boomer you all day for sure.
No spoilers. I shook up the MetaZoo market single-handedly this past weekend.
I believe you.
Peak is not cultured. Basic.
This is the MetaZoo.
Didn't bring Zoo, but I kind of regret it because I bought a bunch of other niche cards and a ton sold. Specially delivery.
That's really surprising to hear. Who said that? Was that Ponga or Pokesmoke?
Pokesmoke.
Pokesmoke. What did you bring that was niche? I'm curious.
Definitely interested in hearing that. Special delivery Charizard will crush one day. I disagree. Yeah.
I don't think that's a spicy take at all. I think that's something that will definitely happen eventually, but it will take it's an English promo, man. Like that's the hard thing. It's like it takes so incredibly long, like for something like that to happen. Like here's a promo that I'm like amazed that it's not like crazy sought after, and like I mean it's fairly expensive, but it's not like what I would imagine is like the Meowth. I think it's the Game Boy Meowth, maybe the Game Boy promo where he's like touching his eye.
Yeah.
Like everybody had as a kid, but they were like sealed terribly, and PSA 10s are only a few $100. Like, I don't know. I just think that is like a defining promo for my childhood that I imagine, and I'm like, why is this not like multiples of thousands of dollars at this point? Like, that would be my evidence of like, okay, an English promo can do it, but I just never seen it. Maybe the Eevee promo, but it's because you can't grade it.
All those special deliveries are gonna do well, I think. Pikachu, Bidoof, and Charizard, and I think they're going to continue to come out with them. If we don't see a special delivery Dragonite, it's going to be a travesty.
I'll be disappointed.
Yeah, I'll be disappointed. It needs to happen at this time for sure. I agree with you, Peak. Japanese hate Americans. Jesus, man.
Basic has this whole theory on why we don't like get good cards. I'm not even gonna. I laugh so hard at that. Never
mind. PSA always gets me on those grades. Let's see, at Rattle, Bierski is alternating cards. Congrats, Peak. Let's see.
Appreciate
it. You let them outnumber you, but congrats. Yeah, that's how it happens.
It's my fault. It didn't happen alone.
Bierski's Special Matches Company. I'm shipping Brad 2 pallets for Orlando. Yeah, we were talking about that the other day, Pong and I. He was like, I got to get a whole bunch of stuff to Orlando. It's like, ship it to Brad. He goes, oh, yeah, Brad. Just find the best airline that flies from your closest airport and get the airline credit card. Oh, God. The closest airport to me is Allentown International, and I think Southwest flies from there, and that's it. It's like,
not a bad airline though.
No, and that's the one I normally fly with because I mean it's 30 minutes away compared to an hour and 10. But bro, Texas, I moved from Florida.
Oh, ouch! You got to find a better source.
I'm shipping Ponga my stuff for Chicago Collecticon. Damn, Bierski told me you live in Orlando. I thought he lived in Florida as well. I didn't know he lived in Texas. So my bad.
He said he moved. So
yeah, see? Shit. I got you, Walrus. Love flying. I hear Brad G lives in San Antonio and won't even link up. Ocarina of Time. Cultured, basic. Ocarina of Time, #1. And yes, I've played it on N64 often, and it is amazing. The 3DS Ocarina of Time was awesome. I like the 3DS version. That was fun. Man, I don't know if I could go back to that old N64 controller at this point in time. That might not do it for me.
That's how I feel like because I'm not a gamer, really. Like, I play occasionally PC games. I'll play, like, DayZ is, like, the only real game that I play on the computer when I do decide to play, which is, like, once a month at most. So, like, when I hear even, like, 3DS is, like, a new console for me. Like, I've never had a handheld since the Game Boy Color.
Stuff's been out for 10 years.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, this is where I will out boomer Bierski, whoever said you have boomer vibes. It's like,
how old are you, Peak?
I'm 34.
I'm 30. I'm going to be 36 this year. So,
all right. So there you go.
Yeah.
No, my soul is like extremely old.
Yeah.
So it's like, when I read that, I was like, and you were like, I don't think I could go back. I'm like, if you never go forward, you can always go back, which is like the worst mentality ever to have. But I gave up gaming quite a long time ago, and it's unfortunate, but it's like I could go back and play the nostalgia games and have a good time. Emulators exist though too, so that's easy to play on the computer.
Like I want them just like to make a real like remake of Red and Blue for the Switch or something. Not like Let's Go Pikachu. Kind of what they did with like Brilliant Diamond on the Switch, and just like make one of those. So Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee was cool, but it's just a completely different kind of feel. Because that was like the game. I loved those games growing up, like Red and Blue. That was the jam.
What'd you pick? What was your one?
Blue.
Red or blue?
Blue. I was a blue, and I was a big Squirtle guy, man. Like I love Squirtle Squad, dude. Listen, Squirtle Squad. I don't know what to say. Listen,
no. At least it's not Venusaur. I mean, who picks Venusaur?
Bulbasaur. Like, people who wanted easy mode on the game because they got to fight a Squirtle. That's all that was. Vine Whip wrecked them. Still.
Yeah,
I wasn't a big. I like Charmander and all that, but I don't know. Took the longest to level up. So the quickest to level up was Bulbasaur, then Squirtle, then Charmander. But yeah, Squirtle Squad where it's at. I'd rather slam my dick into a door than fly Spirit. So there you go. Jesus.
I mean, that might
That's
happen.
one way to do it, unit. Yeah. He sang a Rick and Morty song at the con, I think. Oh,
who's that?
Jason Page. It's got to be Jason Page.
That's funny.
Zelda, Bob Saget, Weiss Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, Pokemon phone cards, Indonesia promos all sold. Wow. Bob Saget cards?
That's cool.
I saw some.
I'm not surprised that Pixar sold, though. The Pixar makes sense to me.
I think the one Discord had Bob Ross cards in it. And they were like pretty cool looking Bob Ross cards, to be honest. Like they can make anything cool on cardboard these days. Speaking of niche, I'm thinking of buying half-dressed Pokemon waifus from eBay in bulk. Slip them in card savers and taking them CSC to sell to middle-aged nerds. And you'll make money doing that, Basic, 100%.
As someone who went all in on MetaZoo, I'm not surprised at this statement.
Let's Go Pikachu is better than the original. You shut your mouth, Loris. I can't believe you just said that.
How dare you?
How dare you? Oh, let's find all these shiny Pokemon that weren't even in the original game. Like that's the whole game is finding. You get on catch sprees and you catch shiny Pokemon.
That's
Riding Pokemon left Beerski unimpressed. Yeah, man. I just liked when Pikachu followed me behind. Like it was nice. He didn't do anything crazy. Bulbasaur is the best starter. Well, there you go.
Walrus is like trying to like get a
he's trolling hard, ridiculous. Man.
Tell me, okay, here's a good challenge for you. I've been asking a lot of people this. Tell me a badass Venusaur art where he's not just looking bored or just doing nothing.
There is
you can't.
There's none.
There isn't one. He's always
They're
just like,
always looking forward, yeah.
Like he's not even vine whipping anybody. He's just like that's it.
He's just hanging out. Yeah, no, he has the
most
one
boring art of a Pokemon ever. Ever.
The only art that was cool, I guess, is when he's fighting the Charizard and he's got the Vine Whip coming out. It's the only time he's doing anything.
Insane.
Let's see. Facts. Bob Saget rookie. Dusted. The original games had shinies too. It was based on the Pokemon number. Dusted.
I think I remember hearing this. There's like a bunch. I've watched a ton of like stuff on those games with like weird errors and glitches that you could do. They weren't shinies per se, but they were like some sort of errors or something.
I was 8 years old. I was 10 years old in this game. I wasn't finding all that shit.
You didn't have a Game Shark? You weren't going in like?
Oh, I didn't have a Game Shark. No Game Shark. No Game Shark.
I was hitting Missing Nose. I was grabbing Mews. I was so pumped. After
I was grabbing Mews. Dude, Missing No Pokemon. That should be something that the Pokemon.
I've always said that.
Print with Missing No. They are like that. If Missing No became a real Pokemon, that might become my favorite Pokemon just from being a kid and hearing that. Like, because before we had the internet, obviously, but before the internet was really the internet, like we were talking about that on like the school playground, like Missing No Pokemon, like it spread like wildfire. Like stuff doesn't like it happens now, but like that was so organically like just spread. It was like a freaking virus. Like people were like, "Oh man, Missing No Pokemon," and everyone went and saw the freaking truck sitting on that little piece of island to try and cut the tires so they can get their Mew. Like everyone did it. It's so cool, and stuff like that doesn't happen anymore. Like because it's not word of mouth; it's just go on the internet. But back then, it was all word of mouth, man. Yeah, the
I said for a while.
That's it, man.
Yeah, the truck next to the SSN, you had to get surf, and then you had to tackle the truck like 127 times, do force and making stuff.
Yeah,
like
some
you had
crazy
to tackle
stuff.
It a lot.
Yeah, walk around it.
I've always said that it would be so cool if they did a specialty set, like a Safari Zone set, and one of the secret chases would be Missing No. Like, that would be such a cool, like, I mean, granted, that's like the most boomer set of all time in Pokemon. Like, I want all the original stuff, but like, yeah, that would be so cool to have a secret rare like Missing No Like,
Dude, it could be a full art where the whole art is just a missing no Pokemon. Like it's just the card is just a missing no. Like there's so many cool things could happen with it. It's
and
a
have the
shame.
text be like blurred or like
Oh yeah,
offset or something. That'd
yeah,
be
it's
super
all
cool.
jacked up. Like it would be so cool. That would be like the hit of all hits from like something like that. And that's not a bad idea. Like I didn't even think about it. Like going back to zones and like Pokemon, like Safari Zone would be such a cool expansion for anything.
Because it's like all the Pokemon you had to find. Like that was like the coolest. Like I remember love seeing Chansey there. That was like my whole. I was like, I'm going to Safari Zone. I want a Chansey and I want a Kangaskhan. That's like all I got.
Kangaskhan, Scyther was in there. Like there is so much cool stuff going on. No one said Venusaur. If you had an older brother, you had Squirtle. Fire Red, Leaf Green, Venusaur EX is fire. Peak is
You
Dustin.
should pull that up. You should pull that up. I want to see it. Fire Red, Leaf Green, Venusaur EX.
Oh, hold on.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, hold on. Let me actually get the...
It's better be good, Walrus. We've got a build-up happening right now.
Yeah, dude, I'm sorry. Wasn't expecting this. Let's see. Present. Share screen. There we go. Share. Boom. Is it though? Just kind of like opening his mouth.
Okay, this is exactly what I'm talking about. The most epic Venusaur card Walrus could come up with out of the entire TCG. I think he's in every set. Is just him yawning. Like that's what you've picked. He yawned, and that's the move. Like he's not doing anything. There's no Vine Whip. There's no it's like Razor Leaf. Like Razor Leaf would be super sick. I want hollow leaves. I want something. This dude's not doing anything.
Dude, a Razor Leaf would be so cool.
That'd be amazing.
Like just shooting stuff out, or poison, or like poison spore, or something like that. Like, could you imagine like a cloud coming out of his, like where he's like shaking and there's like just pollen coming out of his flower? Like that would be wild too.
Do a Cosmos Hollow, dude. He could be doing tackle for all I care. I don't know what Walrus is talking about. I'm dusted like this. No. No way.
I'm Dustin. Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with that Venusaur just listened to Pete talk about World's cards. Jeez, forgive the guy. Oh man, ouch. Walrus. Damn.
Here's what I think is happening. This Venusaur is yawning at his own art. That's how bad it is. Like he's so bored with his own art. He's like, again, me just front facing the camera.
It's all like, front face. There's nothing. This is so very true.
Boring. Most boring art ever.
Legends Arceus is the second best game. Not a bad game. They got the new Legends Z through A coming out. Interested in seeing what that's about. Easy Venusaur Celebi. If you evolve Bulbasaur in games, then you're not a real Pokemon trainer.
That's true. That's true.
You didn't get the new from under the truck near the Mew from under the truck near the SSAN. Safari Zone set with Safari Ball reverse holo chases. Pretty
Speaking
good.
my language, he's trolling, but that's facts.
Yeah,
I like
that's
that.
Facts. What do you think of the Crimson Haze cards?
So I Googled the art because I can't recall sets to save my life. From the few that I'm seeing, I mean, it looks cool. I don't know if anything has stood out to me. Is there a particular card, Chef, that you like?
Oh, it's that Infernape is... So hold on, I'm going to pull this up right now too. Boom. Like that Infernape is nice.
I saw a Pokesmoke, by the way. He sent me a photo of a Venusaur card. That's funny. Still whack, but
it's still whack.
Celebi looks dope.
Let's see. We got that. We got a nice like pincer card.
So I love this because this reminds me of Uyama art. Like I love this style of art. It's one of my favorites. So I'm sold on this already. This if everything else looks like this.
Yeah, no, I love like I enjoy arts like this as well. Like those are some of my more favorite arts. Hold on. Sorry guys to keep clicking in and out. I'm trying to find something else here.
Yeah, like give me that cartoonish, childlike, hand-drawn look, and I'm completely sold.
Yeah, all day long. Those are sharp looking. Also, Detective Bierski. Detective Bierski cards would be awesome. That Venusaur. Oh yeah, we read that. Cosmos Venusaur would be awesome. They won't do it. He'll go back to ducking his head and yawning.
This is true. They're like, wait, should we do this to Venusaur? No, let's just do a full art Charizard.
Don't pull up spoilers. Bierski salivates at the thought of opening those packs. I do. Listen, I know you hate that I open cards. I didn't even do it. Like after this, I need to do my card opening for the day because I totally shit the bed on that and didn't do it earlier. But yeah, I love opening packs. One of my favorite things to do. Uyama, yeah. Wasn't drawn by a child or an adult. The definition of a Uyama art.
I love it though. It's like it's such a cool like. I love that in his art, it's not taken seriously. It's not trying to make the most badass looking scene. It's not trying like just a strict like day in the life. Like, you know, it's drawn with like the age that people like myself grew up with it. So I'm just like, man, this is such a cool callback. It's kind of like how I feel about like if I watch like old Japanese anime, and I say old, but like if I watch like a Yu Yu Hakusho, or if I watch like you know, like, you know, if you saw like Sailor Moon back in the day, or like any of those old, like, you know, just that hand drawn art, like there's something more real about it to me. Like, not that I'm against like modern art. I think we're in the golden age of Pokemon art without a doubt. But I just think that, yeah, this style it speaks to me, dude. It scratched the itch. Like I'm all in.
Right on.
It's very nice.
Yeah, no, definitely. How long can I give Pokemon bad arts before they stop paying me? Yama. Jeez, man. Walrus is just fucking what? Wow. All right.
What do you have? What's the issue with Uyama? He has like one of the best Pikachu arts of all time. Like, come on.
Walrus doesn't like him apparently. Thinks he's a
Didn't
bad
he do
guy.
like all of vending series or something? Like, I mean, it's like these iconic sets and like cards.
Walrus wants what, C-band cards? He wants the CGI cards. That's what he's looking for.
Probably.
All right, so we are at the bottom of Chat Peak. Any last parting words? Any wisdom you have to impart on anyone? What are you feeling for the rest of 2024?
Yeah, just excited for. I think Pokemon is like, at this point, I'm just convinced it's never going away. Like, it's never going to not be popular from now on. Like, for a
very long
time. I went back and forth a little bit for a while, but it seems like the boom created a very long-lasting. It reinvigorated a prior fan base and created a present fan base at the same time, which like never happens.
A rabid fan base too, like rabid with the stuff.
Without a doubt. I mean, and because there's money, there's secondary markets, there's communities like this, there's engagement, there's content, there's cards, there's games, there's movies, there's TV shows, there's comics, there's mangas. Like, I mean, where do you fail? Because in all of those things that I just said, there's communities behind them. Like, so it's like, I'm so like bullish on Pokemon as an IP in general. Like, I don't think it's going anywhere. So, you know, I would say that if you are engaged at this level, you know, which you probably are, you're watching a Pokemon stream at my time, 10:30 p.m., like, you know, in the middle of the week, you know, continue what you're doing. I always recommend get to know as many people in this hobby as you can. If there are people that you know, look up to their collections, aspire to maybe get some grails, talk about them, research the stuff, like look at stuff that's not maybe just the next set is probably my biggest recommendation. I would say, like, try to stay in the present and also look back without just looking for what the new next thing is, because you will be burnt out like 100%. It's just gonna, there's too much to take in.
Too much.
And conversations like this are like, the amount of friendships I've been able to build over the years of doing this were completely unexpected and just amazing. Like friendships that will last, like even when I'm out of this hobby, like whenever that happens. And it's all based around shiny cardboard. So engage in the community, join Discord. If you have, and I say all this, if you have the time, prioritize your life. But if you got the extra time, jump into Discords, like comment sections like this. If you want to jump on YouTube, like do that too. Like, that's the thing is with, as Bierski said, like with the amount of demand that's here, people want as much as they can ingest. We always need more content. Don't think that your voice doesn't matter in this. I talk to people I don't know every single day, every day. So like, you don't have to be intimidated by that. Like, you can go and have these new conversations. You automatically have something in common, you know. So engage in the community. If you're buying and selling, you know, keep doing what you're doing. You're already well deep into it if you're watching this stream. Beyond that, yeah, subscribe, like the video. We probably should have said that 2 hours ago. Bierski's channel's awesome. I'm excited for you and Panga's podcast. That's really exciting. Yeah, you're one of my favorite new channels, dude. So I loved it. Like, whenever we started talking, it was like, I'd love to come on, dude. Like, this would be a good time. So I enjoy the content. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't stop. And yeah, thank you so much for having me on, dude. This has been an absolute blast.
Pete, thank you so much. I really do appreciate you coming on. I couldn't agree more with, you know, just diving into the community, diving into what is available to everyone now. Like, there's so much content out there. Definitely, you know, just if you're interested in all of this stuff and you're watching this, you know, an hour and 57 minutes in on a Wednesday night at 11:30 p.m. my time, yeah, definitely, man. Just dive in and enjoy the ride, because it is fun. You know, Peek, I really appreciate you coming on, man. Like, you've seen cards that I won't touch. I mean, you do things in your, you know, in the hobby that is just so awesome, and I really do appreciate you coming on here and, like, you know, classing up the joint a little bit, man. Like, I really appreciate it, Peek.
Thanks, man. Dan, Catch 'em All Collectibles, I believe, is live.
Yes, he's live right now.
Red or Blue is also live. So can you raid? Do you know how to do that?
Oh man, I don't know if he's set up. I don't know how to raid. I don't know how to raid.
Ernie just jumped in. That's pretty funny.
Oh, there he goes. Peek, what's goody? I just want to yawn right now. Just put a little yawn in there. Hold on. Where's the yawn? Have to do it.
I don't. I think I've done it like one time. I don't even remember how to do it. But
well, so this is how we're going to raid tonight, and I'm going to learn how to do it tomorrow. But if you are going to leave this channel, go to Dan Catch 'em All Collectibles channel or Red and Blues. And yeah, man, enjoy the content that's there for you. Dan probably has something good going on for you. Red and Blue probably has something good on.
Red or Blue, if anybody's not familiar with him, Rob, fantastic individual, does every single live stream, he just gives away packs. Every single live stream. You just have to get in there and put !give. You will win packs. He's amazing, fantastic. Dan is doing a Q&A, so decide what you want to do. Free product, you want to watch somebody rip, or Dan, you know, we want spreadsheets. So I'll probably be in both, just jumping around. But yeah, thank you. Thank you again for the kind words. I appreciate everybody. Thanks for hanging out, chat. This was a really good time, and I hope to do it again soon.
Yeah, thanks everyone for being here, and we'll catch you in a couple weeks. Have a good one, guys.
Bye, chat.